5517. 800-932-5517. 800-932-5517. Once again, that's 800-932-5517.
Hi, good afternoon, and welcome to Fifth Street Sports. I'm Frank Perez. I'm going to be joined by my co-host, Oklahoma Brian, who are on Sports Byline SB Nation Radio. And also, we want to give a nice hello to the American Forces Network, you guys. I hope we can make your day, your next hour a little bit more entertaining and informative. We got a really good show today. We got Oklahoma Brian on the line. We got a really nice topic. Because, Brian, you know what I want to open this one up with? I seen in this Major League Baseball, in between commercials, they're coming out with some unwritten rules of baseball. I mean, what's that all about?
Yeah, I think it's kind of a funny promotion that they're using. They're challenging a lot of the unwritten rules of baseball. That I think there's a feeling among a lot of fans that these unwritten rules of baseball have kind of worked to maybe limit the amount of fun that takes place in baseball. And there's a kind of a movement among a lot of younger fans to kind of challenge these unwritten rules, like you don't flip a bat or you don't stand at home plate and admire a home run, things like that. So baseball is kind of, poking fun at these unwritten rules of baseball. So today we're going to take a look at some of the unwritten rules of sports betting, things that are technically legal. They're not necessarily written, but they are kind of taboos that will maybe rock the boat in terms of the relationship. Today, actually, we're going to focus on unwritten rules between bookmakers and players, and I think tomorrow we'll take a look at unwritten rules that involve your friends. That maybe things you don't do to friends of yours regarding sports betting. So it should be a fun topic. I mean, we can debate some of these. I know you've come up with some really clever unwritten rules I hadn't thought of, and I've got some that I think you'll enjoy. So we should have a good time debating this.
So this baseball unwritten rules has I know it's triggered a lot of your fancies because we have like our unwritten rules with us against bookmakers, bookmakers against us, friends against friends. So when we come back, we got a really nice show lined up for you today. You're gonna like some of these little quirks that we have. We'll be right back. This is Fifth Street Sports. Stay tuned.
Hey travelers, do you want to save money on your next flight? Then pick up the phone and call. That's right, call. Because the best prices are not online. They're with SmartFares. See, SmartFares has special deals with the airlines. When they have unsold seats, they use SmartFares to fill them. So you get airline tickets at ridiculously low prices. Our prices are too low to publish online. With the extra money you'll save, you can book another trip or treat yourself to dinner or shopping. So stop searching all of those travel sites to find the lowest price on your next flight. Let one of our SmartFares expert travel agents find ridiculously low prices for you. Call SmartFares today and get the best price on your next flight. Guaranteed. Also, save up to 50% off business and first class tickets.
855-325-1780. 855-325-1780. That's 855-325-1780.
Attention business owners. Are you struggling while waiting for your customers to pay on their net 30, 60, or 90-day invoices? Can't get a business loan? Have no equity? Bad credit? Or maybe no credit at all? Then you need to call AmeriFactors right now. AmeriFactors will give you cash for your invoices and there's nothing to pay back. We simply buy your account receivables, and if those clients don't pay on the invoices, we take the loss. We give you funds based on your account receivables skills, not your credit. And 98% of all applicants are approved. It's that simple. With AmeriFactors, there's no more waiting for your customers to pay. We give you the funds up front, then we wait for your customers to pay us. Fund your business today. Call AmeriFactors right now.
800-847-1183. 800-847-1183. 800-847-1183. That's 800-847-1183. Want to fly somewhere? Looking for cheap flights or cheap tickets? Then call. That's right. Call the low-cost airline travel hotline now for prices so low we can't publish them anywhere. Low Cost Airlines has all kinds of cheap travel deals. Fly domestically and save up to 75%. You can even fly internationally and save even more. Yes, fly anywhere in the world and save a lot of money on your plane tickets. We'll even save you money with cheap travel deals on hotels, rental cars, even complete travel packages. So don't book your tickets until you call us first for the absolute cheapest prices on U.S. and international airline tickets and hotels. Call right now for prices so low they can't be published. Travel experts are here 24/7 to help. 800-754-4531. 800-754-4531. 800-754-4531. That's 800-754-4531.
Welcome back to Fifth Street Sports. We're on the Sports Byline SB Nation Radio Network. Also, you can find us on Facebook.com/Fifth Street Sports Talk. American Forces Network. Once again, hello. Well, you guys, we got a really nice show today because today we are focusing on, Brian and I have come up with a bunch of the really nice stuff. He has some great takes on these. These are unwritten rules from the bookmakers to the players and the players to the bookmakers. Brian, here on this first one, we wanted to touch on some of these bookmakers, and I know you've ran into it a lot, where they give players, they give different, the same book, same game, but they give players one guy -3, one guy -4. What do you think about that game playing that they do?
Yeah, this is a interesting situation that comes up with offshore bookmakers where they will come up with custom lines depending on the profile of the player. And, I think that you got to be careful as a bookmaker by doing this because you have to know that a lot of your players potentially know each other. Guys are going to see that their friends are getting different lines. And as a player, I actually like it because I'm going to try to get, if I see someone doing that, I'm going to open a second or a third account and try to get access to each of those lines. But I don't know if it's if it's really that smart of a business practice for bookmakers. What do you think?
Me too, because I remember, I would say about 7 or 8 years ago, I had a player gave me 4 accounts in the same sheet. And the next thing you know, I'm looking at Nebraska -4, Nebraska -5, Nebraska -6. So I asked him, he would group these accounts in A, B, C, or D. So obviously, like if he thought you were a favorite bettor or an over bettor, like a square that only bets favorites, all your lines were 1 to 2 points higher. Your money lines were 20 and 30 cents higher, same game, and your totals were, instead of 47, it was 49 because you tend to bet the over. But like you said, we go in the back door and start buying back, right? I mean, I think it's stupid to tell you the truth.
How about this one, Frank? I get this one a lot of times from bookmakers. They'll say, geez, all your plays, I noticed, like you never play your own stuff. How come you're always playing other people's plays? That's frequently a kind of a unwritten rule. It's not actually in the rules of the website per se, but it's a complaint you hear a lot is, hey, why are you always playing other people's plays? And, my response to that is, hey, man, I'll start playing my own plays when you start making your own lines. Until then, I'm going to bet whatever I want because it's not like you're not going to Don Best or Chris or whoever and copying all of the lines.
Right.
So I don't really take that one too seriously.
I know these are all unwritten rules that I know you've been in the battlefield for 20 years, so have I, and these are all the little things that we're sharing today are some of the really things that have really gotten to us. What about, Brian, this sometimes, and you've gotten it, you sign up at a bunch of books, you do it, the next thing you know, like they're selling all your data. Yeah, what's that?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and it's funny because I'll have a phone. Like, let's say I bought her, I borrow my daughter's phone to call in a bet, and because whatever, my phone's out of batteries, and so all of a sudden I'm using my 14-year-old daughter's 15-year-old daughter's phone now to call in a bet, and 2 weeks later she's getting a call from Johnny Volcano the tout. You can't tell me that those two events weren't related.
I know.
That bugs me. And same thing goes with email. I feel like if I'm going to confide in a sports book my own information, if you want me to be truthful, use my own email, my own phone number, then you got to keep that information private because I think that's a really huge violation of trust between the bookmaker and the
Yeah.
player.
So do I. And then you see with things like this, like what we're trying to say to all of our audiences that it's a jungle out there. Like they're going to steal your data. They're going to give you different shaded lines. They're going to play just like we got to go in. Here's another one of your favorite ones that you've done to overcome this. The beard. That's one of your best plays. You
Oh
go in
yeah.
as a beard. Explain to them what a beard is and how you come in and circumvent these books.
Yeah, so this is another unwritten rule. Although I guess technically in Nevada it actually is written, and it's prohibited. But I think it's kind of a BS rule. Here it goes something like this. Let's say I want to bet into a certain sports book, and I know that they don't want my action, right? Like maybe they've lowered my limits to $100 or thrown me out of the book outright. So I still want to bet in there. So maybe I go over to you, Frank, and I say, hey, Frank, would you go sign up for an account at that sports book? And once you do, go ahead and give me all the info, and we'll chop the plays. You take whatever percent you want. I'll take the percent that I want. I'll be able to get down at this book, and that's a actually, I probably gonna catch a lot of heat for this, but I think it's a totally legitimate practice. My personal view of the gambling universe is such that bookmakers are taking, they're getting the benefit of -110. I really don't think they should have the ability to throw anyone out. I think bookmakers, once they make the decision to become a bookmaker, to some extent, I feel that they have to take on all comers, at least for house limits. And I really, we've seen a lot of this in the news lately in New Jersey and Delaware and a lot of these East Coast states with bookmakers throwing guys out in the first week because they don't want to take bets from them. But I think if bookmakers are going to be cowards and throw guys out and do
Yep.
those kinds of things, then I think bearding is totally legit, with the one exception, Frank. The one exception would be if you're getting multiple accounts, if you're bringing in your friend and your friend's dog and your uncle's wife and every possible name you
Right.
can think of, because you want to hit the same bets 2, 3, 4 times, I
Yeah.
think that's out of bounds. But if you're
Yeah.
just trying to get one bet at the house limits, yeah, I think bearding's totally legitimate. And
Right.
I know that I'm probably in the minority on that, but that's how I feel.
No, no, but you just mentioned like there's certain asterisks to it. It's also like if you get three accounts in the same place as a beard, so you can triple bet the house limit. Now you're right. That's out of line. Now how about this? Now do you think that this play is out of bounds? Let's say they have $1,000 limit on WNBA games, and you love a game. You love a game, but you're going to be able to get 1,000, or you're going to get 1,000. They're going to keep moving the lineup, so it's going to be prohibitive. Now we use one of our plays where we circumvent the limits. Now tell them how you circumvent the limits and if you think it's out of bounds or not.
I don't even like the term circumventing the limits. I think this is kind of a weenie. This is a total weenie play on the part of the
Okay.
bookmakers to claim that you're circumventing limits. But it goes something like this. Let's say there's that WNBA game, and you really want to get down on it. And let's say they're not even taking 1,000. Let's say they're taking 200, and you think, man, I can't even get any kind of enjoyment out of $200. I want to get more on this for whatever reason. So now, in addition to betting it straight for the $200, now you go in and you start parlaying it with other things. let's say they don't have a limit on how many times you can use it in a parlay. So you take this bet and you start parlaying it with a boxing match, with a basketball game, with
Yeah.
a tennis match. You're literally flipping a coin and putting it with everything you can think of. And the
Gotcha.
end result is you have, essentially like a position that's the equivalent of $10,000 or whatever the number is. It doesn't matter, but it's significantly higher than the $200. And the weenie bookmaker is going to say, "Yeah, you're circumventing the limits," which I hate that. And I say, you know what? If you have a problem with that, you should have built your software so that, because it's right there for them on the
That's
back end of the
right.
software. They can go in and they can limit it so that that particular sport that they're so afraid of can't be put into parlays or can't be used in more than one parlay. So
That's right.
I have no, yeah, I have no sympathy for that argument, even though it is kind of one of those unwritten rules of sports betting, but it's a total weenie rule, and I laugh at it. But it can ruin your relationship with the book.
Yeah, it
Potentially.
will,
So
especially if you hit a lot of the parlays. But Brian, we're gonna be right back because we know we've got a whole bunch of these that we want to share. This is Frank Perez in Oklahoma. Brian, we're at Fifth Street Sports. We're going to take a small break. We'll be right back. Stay tuned to Fifth Street Sports.
If you or someone you love suffers from drug addiction, now is the time to utilize your private health insurance PPO plan. If eligible, receive up to $30,000 or more in substance abuse benefits with low or no out-of-pocket cost. We are the National Treatment Network, the premier drug and alcohol treatment referral service operating 24/7. We help connect you with facilities nationwide that accepts PPO private health insurance for substance abuse. If you have PPO substance abuse coverage and you need immediate admittance to a medical detox or residential rehab treatment center, call us now. Call our live referral helpline today. The call is free. This program is not available to Medicare or Medicaid customers.
Call 800-296-1252. 800-296-1252. 800-296-1252. That's 800-296-1252.
Hi, Rick Tittle here. You may know me as the sports talk host that can talk about all sports: football, basketball, baseball, hockey, soccer, golf, tennis, auto racing, boxing, Olympics, rollerball. But this time I'm here to talk about pain. If you have pain in your knee or your back like I do, then you should know about the Health Alert Hotline. If Medicare is your primary insurance, then you could qualify for a back or knee brace at little or no charge. I have an old injury from my football playing days, and anything that can help take that pain away and make it more manageable, that has my attention. I love the free delivery, and they take care of the paperwork for you. So if you have Medicare and need help for back, ankle, knee, or shoulder pain, please call the Health Alert Hotline at 800-428-1570. That's 800-428-1570. Agents are standing by 24/7, so go ahead and call now. 800-428-1570.
In times of economic uncertainty and chaos, your money means nothing. You may not even be able to get it from your bank or ATM. And the money you do have in the stock market will go down and down. What you can bank on is gold and silver. Gold and silver have been a reliable and trusted form of currency for thousands of years. Gold and silver have never been worth zero, and typically gold holds its value during economic turmoil. Call the Gold Hotline now and learn how to protect your money and your assets with gold and silver. And learn how to set up a new IRA or roll over your current one into a gold-backed IRA. Protect your money from the next market crash with gold and silver. Call now for your free gold guide.
800-535-7789. 800-535-7789. 800-535-7789. That's 800-535-7789.
Guys, we're back. It's Fifth Street Sports with Oklahoma Brian and Frank over here. We got a part 2 of our show. We started with the unwritten, what triggered us was the unwritten rules of baseball that they're, showing in between commercials. So we were going to share a lot of our unwritten rules of bookmaker to player, player to bookmaker. But we can't forget about a few things that are going on. Today starts the NHL season. Okay, don't forget we got a real good hockey guy because we got the Fifth Street Advantage. And we have, when you go into fifthstreetsports.com, you'll see the Fifth Street Advantage, which is our service that's coupled with the Sports Insights line service. We got a real good deal with them. We have a lot of our information. We have an NHL guy. We have our best is our college basketball guy, NBA. WNBA is over. Of course, all of our football. Let me tell you something that we're going to put on the Fifth Street Advantage. I'm going to give you a taste of 2 NHL games today that we're going to put on there that we really like in the season opener. We like Washington minus $1.20. We're going to go with that. So if you're on the Fifth Street Advantage, you would have gotten that. I'm giving it to you for free. And we like the San Jose Anaheim under 5.5. I'm going to go out here and I gave it to you for nothing, okay, because it doesn't matter. I'm very grateful that you listen to our show and listen to us, but you'll see that on the Fifth Street Advantage. So that's it with the starting of the NHL season. You really want to go to the Fifth Street Advantage. It starts the season. Don't want to miss a lot of our good hockey stuff. Brian, another unwritten rule that we wanted to touch on, okay? What do you think about this one? What do you think about this one? How many times have we sent money into these books where they said, oh, it's a 50% sign-up bonus with the 8 times rollover and that, and you send them $5,000 and you're supposed to get your $2,500. Now you make about 7 or 8 plays and you run your natural $5,000 to $8,000 or $9,000 and they kick you out and don't give you your bonus. Well, what's that? I mean, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I think that's totally ridiculous. If you follow all of the rules that are established with the bonus, and and it's different, I suppose, if they have proof that you've come in with multiple identities or something nefarious like that. But if you're just regular old Oklahoma Brian coming in with his one account, I'm supposed to get a 20% bonus. I send in my 5,000. I get the $1,000 bonus. I'm 80% of the way towards meeting my plate requirement, and then they say, hey, you know what? You're not a recreational player, and we really only want recreational players. Well, I got news for you. You didn't tell me that when I was signing up. There was no siren saying, hey, if you're this is only for idiots. If you have any idea what you're doing, please don't take the bonus. No, that's never said. So I actually think bonuses are one of the worst things that ever happened to the industry. They were great for us as a player, 15, 20 years ago, 10 years ago even. But nowadays, they're typically the sign of a book that's struggling. And I'd run away from most bonuses.
Exactly. You answered that perfect. Now, Brian, here's a question. I've got my thoughts on this, and you can do it. Jimbo Mullins just wrote in, I am playing the Yankees run line minus a 1.5 plus 110 tonight. What are our thoughts on this game? Now, I know that Saravino's going tonight. I seen him between $1.70 and $1.90. But if you lay a 1.5, you get plus 110. Jimbo, I mean, it's not bad. This guy can really shut him down. But boy, laying that 1.5 at home, especially in these big games, gets real dangerous. I'm more of a fan of laying the 1.5 on the road. When a road team is, let's say, minus 145, and now you can take them plus 115 or 120, because that minus 1 isn't so crucial. I think
I'm in total agreement. Yeah,
I think it's tough, Jimbo. It's not a horrible bet. It's not a horrible bet because you're getting 90 cents to $1 than that. But I am totally thumbs down on laying the 1.5 at home in the playoffs, or even during the regular season for that. How about you, Brian? What do you think about for Jimbo?
Yeah, I totally agree with you in general about the avoiding laying a 1.5 at home in the playoffs. Strike zone is enormous in the postseason, and I will say this: I don't know what the market on the game is. If that's a standout price, if plus 110 is an exceptional price, I can make a case for grabbing
it's
it. But
it's not a bad price. But Jimbo, let me give you some facts on home teams. When home teams go into the bottom of the 9th tied or extra innings, they win by 2 or more times 7% of the time. So if you're going into the bottom of the ninth tied or behind, or you're in extra innings and you're the home team, you're only going to get that 2-3 run homer or the grand slam only a total of 7% of the times. So you're going to win it 1 out of 14 times. You're kind of in bad shape. So be careful on that.
There's an exception though to that 7% rule. You know what that is?
What?
When I have the team that's plus 1.5, that 7% probably goes to like 37%.
Oh yeah,
because I'm cursed. I'm always the guy that gets beat by the. It feels like I'm always on the wrong side of that.
No, but even though, but you want to know what? In his defense, in this game, let's say you needed the Yankees to win by, it's tied. You're in the bottom of the 10th, 11th, 12th, and you need to win by 2 or more. That short porch in right field and having all those home run hitters, Stanton and Judge and all these guys, you are drawing the livest to maybe get that 2 or 3 run homer. You know what I mean? So. Yeah. But you know, speaking of that, it was one of my biggest wins I ever had. You know, everybody whines about bad beats and good beats. I'll never forget the game that I had. I had under 7.5 in the Yankees game in a playoff game with the Mets. I mean, no, it was the Mets game. I think it was under 7.5, and the bases were loaded. Bottom of the 9th, 10th. It was extra innings. I was drawing dead. Bases were loaded.
I know where you're going with this.
Ventura hits a grand slam, baby. I thought I was dead. And for some reason that they didn't let him round the bases, and it ended 4-3. I couldn't believe that I actually won that. I was looking at my account when it all went plus, and I said, I'm supposed to be dead. He hit a grand slam. It's supposed to end up 7-3, right? And,
well, he never rounded the bases, right? Either he didn't touch first, or he just went straight to the pitcher's mound and dogpiled, and celebration. Yeah. So
I couldn't believe
he never actually made it around.
I couldn't believe it. To me, that was absolutely, not only was I supposed to lose, but I ended up winning. I actually felt like I was so lucky. I was going to throw, like it was a windy day in Vegas, I was going to throw a $100 bill in the air and see if it just blew back to me. That's how lucky I felt. Hey, but so Jimbo, it's going to be tough, but we're not rooting against you, buddy. Brian, what's another one of your quirks that really bothers you on these unwritten rules?
How about this one? I get this complaint periodically, and I used to think this is only a rule that kind of a small town local guy would give me, but then I started getting this from Canner about 5 years ago. This was a rule of theirs that I thought was totally absurd, and frankly I was embarrassed for them that they would have this rule. Again, not written in their rules, but an unwritten rule that would make them mad. And if you did it too much, they'd show you the door. And that is betting both sides of a game. Give me a break. Hey, I'm laying 110. If I bet the Patriots on Monday night or on Tuesday, and then the day of the game, I decide I want to bet Indianapolis, that's my right as a bettor. And I think it's absurd for any bookmaker to tell me that I can't change my mind on a game. It's really amateur.
All these Vegas apps will actually shut you down or throw you out. But when you were doing this, explain to them like the 2 reasons why you might bet both sides of a game. One is, I know for sure, for instance, let's say right now you took a position on the Patriots -10, and then the game went to 12.5 in the same book. And you said, you know what, I bet 2,200 at -10. I think I'm going to bet back like 1,500 at plus 12.5. So you've opened up like one side and 2 middle numbers. They get really pissed at that because they start knowing that they're not going to be able to win. But have you ever had one, Brian, where you just like laid 7 on Tuesday, and then when Saturday came, you hated it and you just wanted to suck up the juice and just buy back to 7, where you're just donating, whatever the 10%, and they still throw you out?
Yeah. Both of them are. I can understand. Actually, I can't understand the middle scenario, because if I bet the game on Monday and it's Thursday or Saturday, whatever I bet it again, it's a good chance I don't remember where I bet it. And why do they care? I mean, they're going to get middled. If their middle is a combination of, let's say, me laying the -110 and you taking back the plus 12.5, that's a middle. It's 2 different players middling them. Why do they care if it's the same player? If they're doing their job correctly, they could care less. If I bet side A 4 times and side B 1 time, or I only bet side B, or I only bet side A.
Hey, we got breaking news. Breaking news here, Brian. We got let's see what we're coming in with. That usually means America's worst bettor. is on the loose. So the breaking news today is America's Worst Bettor is coming in on Alabama minus 35. Look at this. This guy's really getting cocky, Brian. He laid 35 with Alabama and 10.5 with the Patriots. You know, there's a lot of 10s out there. This guy never ceases to amaze me that he can always find the worst line. But what do you think of both of those? He's getting cocky now, 2 at a time.
Well, I'll start with the Alabama play. I don't hate the play, although he's about 2 points worse than the opener. I think he bet Alabama last week, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
He did bet, yeah.
He laid 48.5, and he had it covered at halftime. But then what happened in the fourth quarter, right? It was a little backdoor action coming in?
Little backdoor action, yeah. He was... so I guess he's going to be rolling with the Tide again this week. Last week, I think that was a game that warranted a first-half bet more than a full game bet. This week, though, I think they're going to put it on Arkansas all 4 quarters. I actually like him. I like that bet. Patriots, I think, is a little square. I can't lay 10.5. This Patriots team has one good game under their belt. I think that's absurd, laying 10.5. And that number will...
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No.
I just think
we're coming up to Brian. We're coming up to a break. When we come back, let's finish up on this Colts Patriots with your thoughts. I also got a pretty good angle on this game on a certain prop. Oklahoma, Brian and Frank. We're over here with Fifth Street Sports. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.
Drowning in IRS debt? If you can't afford to pay your IRS debt due to economic hardship, you can now be free of IRS collection efforts by taking advantage of a special IRS tax hardship program. This program allows Americans who owe the IRS to resolve their delinquent tax debt once and for all. In some cases, maybe even reducing what you owe significantly. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Simply dial 800-426-3569. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back or have years of unfiled tax returns, help is standing by. Just call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-426-3569 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-426-3569 to see if you qualify. That's 800-426-3569.
It has been said that everyone has a book in them. But do you have the time or the ability to write your book? Maybe you picked up some skills or had a life experience that you want to pass on in the form of a book to help others. Maybe you want to leave an autobiography for your family. Or maybe you've built a successful business and you want to share your story. At Dorrance Publishing Company, we have professional writers who can help turn your book idea into a finished manuscript quickly and affordably. A Dorrance ghostwriter can provide as much or as little help as you need to complete your book. You'll work directly with your ghostwriter to finish your book faster than you ever could on your own. It's easy to become a published author. Call Dorrance now to learn more. 800-485-6003. 800-485-6003. 800-485-6003. Call right now. That number is 800-485-6003.
If you are age 85 or younger, call to learn more about final expense plans from a licensed agent in the Angel Care Network. The average funeral now costs over $10,000. Are you at risk of leaving loved ones to help pay your debts? A final expense policy for seniors can pay up to $30,000 for funeral and other final expenses. You don't need a medical exam, and you can have lifetime coverage, and the policy cannot be canceled. To receive free information about final expense plans from a licensed agent in the Angel Care Network, call now. You'll also receive information about a free prescription discount card just for calling in. Agents are standing by.
Call 800-508-5774. 800-508-5774. 800-508-5774. Call now. That's 800-508-5774.
Back, Fifth Street Sports. I'm Frank. We're joined with Oklahoma Brian. We're on Sports Byline SB Nation Radio Network. Also, don't forget you can find us on Facebook.com/Fifth Street Sports Talk. We were talking about America's Worst Better came in on Indianapolis minus 10.5. Excuse me, Patriots minus 10.5. And we were talking about that. And Brian had some thoughts on it. But Brian, I like there's one special play I like on this game that I'll share with everybody here. I like the over 208. I think it's 284, 285 yards by Andrew Luck, passing yards. I think the very, very good chance that Indy's going to be coming from behind all the time, especially late, and maybe from a little bit way behind. And I think, like last week, I think he threw for 464 yards. I know he threw that bonehead interception play in overtime, but I think he's going to get a tremendous amount of garbage yards. And I really like that prop of over 285 yards by Andrew Luck. You got any thoughts on this game?
Well, I'm kind of a contrarian when it comes to props. I generally like to bet under props on marquee games, but that one does make a little bit of sense. In terms of the play from America's Worst Better, I'll just say this: I question the market entry, laying 10.5 early in the week. What's the big deal? Why not wait? If this thing goes to 11, have you really lost any value? No. Wait to see if the thing goes to 10. People jump the gun laying back. The same thing yesterday with Rockford. He laid 3.5 on Hawaii. There's no point in rushing into a play like that when it could easily drop down to 3. It's a much better bet. If it goes to 4, you're really not that worse off. And sure enough, the game to 3 later that night. So market entry is everything, and you got to be aware of the value of key numbers and the potential of the game to move in your favor versus against you. So that if he was laying 10, I could maybe say, all right, get the 10 while it's still there. But laying 10.5, that's a bad bet.
It could go to 10.5, but it never ceases to amaze me. This guy rushed out, couldn't wait to get down on that 10.5. That's such a sign. That's such a sign of a square player. Because if it goes to 10, even maybe 9.5 minus 15, look at the tremendous value you've gained. Where if it goes to 11, 11.5, like Brian said, that's nowhere near the loss of value. But here we go, Brian. Here is. Oh, wait a second. We got Jimbo Mullins. I think this game tonight, the Yanks win 7-0 or 8-1. If this game is tied late, I wouldn't want the 180 play on the Yanks anyway. Well, that makes kind of a good point. You know what I mean? You can make a case for that, Jimbo. But you're right. I mean, my whole family's Yankee fans, so I'll be rooting for you. We got nothing on this game. Remember, my sweethearts got there yesterday 2-1. Even though Brian Wilson, one of our residents here, is a big Cubby fan, I really wasn't rooting against them because I don't have anything, but I did like Colorado. But anyways, Brian, so here is one of my pet. Okay, you shared a bunch of your unwritten rules. Here's one that really pisses me off, especially at William Hill. How many times have I gone down there and I see an NBA game, and I want to bet under 104 in the first half? So I got to swipe your card, and then you say to the writer, I want 2,200 under 104. They got to call the main office. They put you on delay. Comes back 3 or 4 minutes later. You can only have 550, which I kind of knew that. I'll say, I'll take the 550. And he goes, oh, but the line changed to 103. Every game. I said, why don't I just come down here and just move your lines? Now, what's your experiences with these delays, getting kicked out, and the line moving every time in some of these books?
So essentially what you have described is a lazy bookmaker who's not moving his lines like he should, and he thinks it's your job to goose him, wake him up and say, hey, Barney, you might want to go check the line on game 397. Right. That's not your job. It's his job to set the lines. It's your job to make the bets. If he falls asleep and doesn't move his lines, he needs to honor the bet. Yeah, he can go move the line after he gives you the bet. But that's a totally unacceptable practice that a lot of bookmakers utilize. They think that their sharp players are somehow their employees, that it's their job to point out off lines, and that they can get away with not giving that guy a play. And I think it's total Bush League bookmaking. I got one for you.
It is, but before you finish that, let me tell you what this William Hill would do. Is I knew they were going to, then I stopped getting, it was a little bit of greed on my part. I knew they were going to give me $550, but what used to get me mad was after they rejected the $2,000 bet, they wouldn't even give me the $550. But let me tell you, before you get to yours, because I know you really got a key one on the next one, one that I used to play games with, Catalina. Catalina was so famous for these monster 90-second delays, 2-minute delays, and I would play games on them fine, and no matter what I bet, okay, it would be let's say the Lakers -6. Put in my 1100, spinning, come back in 2 minutes, -6.5. No matter what, they always rejected a bet and moved the line. I'd start putting in the opposite. I started putting in the opposite because I knew we'd be rejected, and then they would give me the other side. Then I'd come in and bet and I just played games with them, just went back and forth, just spinning, and then like I couldn't get either line, but I started like jerking them around and betting the opposite side.
Okay, so I'm going to call an audible. I had a different unwritten peeve, but since you mentioned Catalina, I'm going to pile on because there's something that those guys used to do back in the old days. It's unusual now that you call in bets over the phone, right? I mean, compared to 10, 15 years ago, nowadays it's very rare to call in a phone bet, right?
Rare.
So back in the day at Catalina, if you tried to call in a phone bet consistently right at post time in the NFL, like right at say 1 o'clock Eastern, that guy that I won't mention his name, but I'm sure most people that know the office know who I'm talking about. The guy would get so mad, he would first he'd yell at you, and then he would literally put you in timeout. He would suspend your account for like a day or 7 days. You couldn't bet with him because you had the audacity to try to bet a game, right at post time. And he wanted all of his phone lines open for kind of recreational players. He didn't want sharp players, dominating the phone lines. So his position was, hey, you got to call, if you got a big bet, call it in early. I want to keep all of my phone lines open for the recreational players at post time. But speaking of that my retort would always be, I think it's a reasonable consideration, that it is expected that, whether it's a phone book or it's a walk-up book in Las Vegas, you're constrained by the amount of labor resources you have. You only have so many ticket writers or phone clerks. So everyone can't call their bet in at the last second. I will say this, though. If you're a bookmaker and you put up a really juicy number right at post time, like let's say you've been using 6.5 on an NFL game for 5 straight days and you haven't moved it. Now, all of a sudden, right as the game's going into the gate, you decide to put up 7 or 7.5. Don't be surprised if people want to pick up the phone and get a piece of that. So, if it's really important to you that you not get those last second bets, don't make, a knee jerk, last minute, movements on your lines. So that's one. I got another one. This is
okay.
Go ahead.
No.
Here's another one.
No, because finishing this one, this post time thing. There's one that I grew up in Vegas here, and in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, there was a lot of handwritten tickets, real bookmakers over the phone. I'm going to tell you how classy and cool these guys were. In Major League Baseball, when we answered the phone, we had one rule in Major League Baseball, and it was an exceptional rule. It's called tie one. That means, let's say you called in the Dodger game, but they already had thrown like 4 or 5 pitches of the game, but you wanted to bet the game, and you didn't make it. Well, you still had to bet as long as it was tied after the first inning. As long as it remained, there was our rule, tie one. That means you like the Dodgers minus $1.50, but gosh, already one San Diego batter had struck out or whatever. If as long as it stayed tied at the end of the first inning, you had a good bet. Tie one.
But I would say this, just I've never heard of that rule, and I'm just hearing it for the first time. My thought would be,
but not the totals.
Not
the totals.
Right, but not the totals. But on the side, you'd have to be out of your mind. Let's say you're betting Kershaw and you're laying 300. If you lose 1 inning of baseball, we know nowadays starting pitchers only go, 5, 6, maybe 7 innings. You'd have to have your head examined to still be laying that kind of chalk starting in the second inning. I would think with that rule, with me as a bettor, I would only want to bet dogs with you.
Yeah, but you got to remember, you missed a key point here. Was 70s, 80s, and 90s. These when there was real major league pitchers. Speaking of that, I pulled up a little trivia by these wussies today. Okay, did you know that in 1968, Bob Gibson had 13 shutouts? That's at least 13 complete games. I don't know how many exact complete games yet, but there was 13 shutouts, okay? This was in 1968. Hey, oh, shoot. Here comes Rockford coming in the house now. All right, let's see what this Rockford got. I can hear the Rockford music. All right, Rockford's picks today, guys. Game 334, Florida plus 2.5. He's got game 388, Minnesota plus 7, and game 398, Texas plus 8. That's going to give Rockford 5 picks so far for the week. He really likes those games. You guys, Rockford's really good. He got back on his feet last week, 3-2. I know Brian's been scolding him for not watching the win and for laying 3.5s early. But let's get back to this Major League Baseball starting thing. Gibson had 13 shutouts in 1968. One guy. You know the answer to this. What was the most complete games that any Major League pitcher pitched this year? These guys making $30 million.
I do know the answer to this, and it's the same answer as last year. It's 2. 2 complete games was that led the league this year.
Right? 2 complete games. You know how many complete game shutouts there were this year by any pitcher?
Less than 30, but I don't know the number.
1. No pitcher.
Sorry.
Like no pitcher pitched more.
Shutouts. Okay, sure.
Than 1.
Yeah, I was going to say less than 30 complete games, but wow, is that right?
Yeah. That's why I really want to get the data on this. Is these guys in the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s, how much they were, what their salaries were, and how much it was the equivalent to each pitch that they made for the year. You know, how much, like an owner said, boy, I paid this guy $1,900 a pitch, compared to these clowns right now making $27 million, and then they want to sit out. They want to sit out. They got a 3.2 ERA. They go 15-12, and then they want to sit out for $25 million or something when they're going to go 6 or 7 innings. But let's get back to another one of your things, Brian, because this was your show here. Wait, you guys, we got Angel Arroyo in the house. Love the show, guys. Who is this mystery man, Rockford? Brian, this is you. Who is this Rockford guy?
Hey, I don't even know. And then again, I don't even have a T-shirt. But no, I have no idea. You won't tell me. No one will tell me.
No, we're gonna, Angel. We're gonna try to find out for you. But Brian, share with us one more of your quirks on these unwritten rules.
So here's one that's always kind of mystified me. Bookmakers complain when you change your IP address, like when you are using a proxy or a VPN, and you come at them with a different IP address. Somehow they think that's dirty pool. I've had people complain saying, hey, why are you being so evasive? Why can't you just use the same IP address? Which is essentially the same thing as a walk-up sports book saying, hey, you always have a red shirt on. I'm used to knowing who you are. You walk in the door with a blue shirt. You confuse me. I don't know who you are.
Right.
That's kind of a goofball, weenie, unwritten rule. So
yeah,
I would say thumbs down to that one. No sympathy on that. How about I got one for you while we got a chance. Where do you come down on this? Okay, real quick, 30 seconds. Tip or no tip if you hit a big ticket? I know a lot of it's not really a bookmaker rule, but a lot of clerks think it's an unwritten rule. You should tip them. How do you come down on that?
I'm in Vegas, and if it's a book I like and a book I go, I'll generally tip because I want that rider to be on my side every time I'm at the window. How about you?
I agree. I think it's a smart business move.
Yeah.
I don't think I should have to do it, but I do it because it's smart.
Yeah. Guys, we'll be right back. We got to take a break. Fifth Street Sports. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
Not too long ago, it felt good to withdraw your cash from the bank, didn't it? For a vacation or a new car. But today, withdrawing your own cash has become risky. Pat Boone here for Swiss America. According to The Secret War, a new Swiss America white paper, I learned that all banks are now required to spy on you and me for the government, and then report any financial behavior deemed suspicious or unusual. You must read The Secret War. It's free. Truth is, I believe the government's new war against cash is really a war against us all. But the secret is now out. So please, get and read The Secret War.
Pick up your phone and call right now. 800-932-5517. 800-932-5517. 800-932-5517. Once again, that's 800-932-5517.
Rebuild or replace transmission, $3,200. Anti-lock brake system, $1,000. Rebuild or replace engine, $2,400. Truth is, once your manufacturer's warranty runs out, it's all on you. Every last cent. Get protection for covered repairs with a vehicle service contract from Toco Warranty. Unlike other companies, with Toco, there's no down payment, and the monthly payments are really affordable. Not sure how long you're keeping your car? At Toco, you can pay as you go. Keep your hard-earned cash and call Toco Warranty right now at 800-222-2313 to save big money on covered auto repairs. Prices vary by vehicle, but for about the cost of a tank of gas per month, a Toco plan has your back on expensive covered car repairs. Monthly payments are very affordable. Get your free quote now. Call Toco at 800-222-2313. That's 800-222-2313. 800-222-2313. Cancellation fee may apply, subject to eligibility. Not available in Missouri and Washington. Waiting period and deductible apply. Coverage provided and administered by Warrantech Corporation or its affiliates. Not affiliated with any manufacturer or dealership. Visit TocoWarranty.com for complete terms and conditions.
Attention to anyone that's written a book or wants to write a book. The process is not that complicated. Take a first step. Even if you write a page a day, you'll build momentum and your book will become a reality. The hard part is getting it published. That's when you need to call Page Publishing. They've got hundreds and hundreds of thank yous from different new authors, just like you. They make the process of publishing your new book and getting it sold online a simple process. You can learn how simple it is right now by calling for your free Page Publishing New Author Submission Kit. One quick 3-minute phone call, that's all it takes to get free information and learn how you can get your book published. Pick up your phone right now and call us 24 hours a day at this number. 800-603-0885. 800-603-0885. 800-603-0885. That's 800-603-0885.
Hey guys, we're back. Fifth Street Sports. I'm Frank, and we've been joined by Oklahoma Brian. We're going to do a couple of segments on this, on little unwritten rules, better to bookmaker to better. But Brian, I got a special alert while we were on break for Angel Arroyo. We're starting to get a little DNA on this Rockford character. Somebody thinks here, a guy named Alan or Diane Fox just think that they spotted him at a Barnes & Noble in Lafayette, Louisiana. Now that could be true because we've had reports before that he's an avid reader. So they think they spotted him at a Barnes & Noble in Lafayette, Louisiana. But hey, Brian, it's been a really good show. Now, you got any takes today on this Yankee-Oakland game?
I've got the artist rendition.
Okay.
I like the I prefer Oakland in this. I just like dogs in this situation. Hey, I'll throw out a freebie. This was going to be released on the Advantage, but I think I'm just going to give this one out. I think it's a really strong play in the preseason NBA tonight. Team going through a lot of turmoil. Minnesota Timberwolves with the drama surrounding their star player on the trading block. He's not playing tonight, but I do like the Minnesota Timberwolves plus 2.5.
Yeah.
Really sharp play tonight. I'd say get on that if you haven't bet that.
We got early info. So now here's 3 free games that we've given you to 3 games that we've given to you that we've shared with you that we really like, and we're going to bet the Timberwolves plus 2.5, Capitals minus $1.20, under 5.5, San Jose and Anaheim tonight. It's been a real good show. Brian, tomorrow I know you're going to have some really good stuff. What about Florida Rick? When are we going to get him on?
Your guess is as good as mine.
Geez, we got to get this guy back on. Andrew's gotten 3 or 4 requests that they really like his stuff, and he's really powerful. Rick, I'm trying to shame you on the coming on, but we're going to need you. But it's been a real good show. And then Brian, tomorrow, let's finish up on. We're going to go the other way on unwritten rules.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Looking forward to it,
guys. Thanks for joining us today, and appreciate everybody listening and watching to us. Fifth Street Sports. Frank Perez, Oklahoma Brian. Have a nice afternoon. We'll be back tomorrow, 1 p.m. Pacific.